Yeah, this is Marduk O'Nasty of Telos Used Car Lenders. I'm trying to reach Ochi of Bestoon. He's about 250 months late on his payments for his Sub-Pro WTK 85A Interstellar Transport. I'm going to be honest. If we don't hear back from you by the end of business today, we're going to go to collections. All right? Just give us a call back when you can. Have a nice life. Bye.
Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
I'm Tim Barnes from TimBarnesComedy.com.
Oh,
yeah.
God. You had an existential crisis.
Just go there. Where am I from?
Where am I really from?
We're all technically from the same
Festoon.
space, right?
Yeah. The same third rock from the sun. I'm Jim Fagan from @JamesFagan on Twitter, or you can find Tim and I at Yubnub Pod for the Yubnub Podcast. Come join.
Yeah. Do that, and thanks to you guys for coming back again to talk about, we've got all kinds of crazy things to talk about today. We're talking about minute 34 of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I think I got it down. I keep almost wanting to say, first I want to say 11, because this is our 11th movie, but then also I want to say 10 sometimes. It's all over the place. But Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Well, there were those two Star Wars stories that kind of throw off the counting,
right.
you know.
Yep.
But Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, Minute 34. It starts with Rey pulling a knife, and it ends with C-3PO quoting Alice in Wonderland. So,
she's got a knife.
Yes. So they pull out the knife. She hears some ghostly voices, and she says horrible things.
Horrible things.
Horrible things have happened. So this is a big Shadow of the Sith thing. I've been talking about this book a lot this week, but it's not my fault. I've read this book, and it's essentially the companion to this movie in a lot of ways, and it came after. So this movie, which is full of so much stuff, they're just like, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why. So that dagger in the hands of Ochi of Bestoon killed Rey's parents. That is the weapon that took the lives of her parents. And I felt upon listening to it this time that is the shout Rey hears when she holds the dagger. It's a bit of a Harry Potter moment, but I think it's the shout of her mother as she picks up the dagger. I don't know what else to make of it, to be perfectly honest. And I was hoping the novelization would back that up, but I think that's not the case.
I
right?
generally feel like whenever Rey picks up a weepon, something crazy happens. Like when she picked up,
only handheld.
It's like her
weapons.
special force power.
Let's see. I will tell you. It's Rey's heart began to race as she picked it up, gripped its cold handle. This dagger, those runes. This dagger, those runes.
That's a career, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it switches into italics and it says, screams rending the air, the metallic scent of blood, the feel of blade against bone and sinew. And then Rey blinked the vision away, feeling sick. Horrible things have happened with this, she murmured.
When the blade kills people in this book, it sucks their blood into the blade. Like a little straw.
That is very... there's a bunch of Harry Potter stuff in this week, I feel like. Because there was the Sith Hood ornament, they said it was a hex charm. And I was like,
No, I have a question. I have a question for you all.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, how much thought do you think went into this blade behind the scenes?
There is a correct answer, just so you know. we know because it's all in the behind the scenes.
I'm willing to argue that the behind the scenes for this movie is just as equally as fascinating as the behind the scenes for The Phantom Menace.
Where is this like an extra that's on Disney Plus?
I
or is it on a
believe it's
disc
on Disney
somewhere?
Plus, but it's like a DVD extra. Yeah. Last time I watched it was on Disney Plus.
But it is like
easily
easily an hour and a half long. It might be like an hour and 40. It's like a documentary about the making of this movie.
Yeah,
I'm looking through my pile over here to see if I can find the. Alex, you said perfect. Does that mean you want to do that next? We'll do a season minute by minute of behind the scenes of Rise of Skywalker.
So
I will do
when
as a
I
Patreon
first saw
special.
this movie, I felt strongly that the Dagger was struggling to make sense in terms of a prop, and that I didn't understand if it was a map or if it was what it was, and then
clue.
You have to be standing in this perfect place for it to line up with the Death Star that they happen to stand like that. A lot of things about this bother me, and I thought, but there must be a lot of thought that went into it. And in the behind the scenes, JJ is basically like, no, it's got to be cool. It's got to be like really important and cool. And then he's like standing at a props table, and the props master is like, is it like this? And like holds up a map like a scroll, and he's like, no, that's not it. And they're like, it looks like all the items from Clue that they're like holding up and being like, is this what it is? Like, no, that's not it. They're like, he's like, it's probably like a knife. Like a knife
So
is
he didn't
cool,
even
right?
have Dagger.
Like, and
It could have been anything at that point. It could have been.
It could have been the Sith lead pipe.
It's very similar to my
saxophone?
favorite things in like the prequel behind the scenes, where you just see George Lucas enter a room full of nervous artists who have sculpted potential creature designs, and he's just stroking his chin, going, I like that. I like these eyes or whatever, and you can see like how much work has gone into it and how much people just want to please him. And this is just J.J. Abrams in the middle of making this movie being like, this is, maybe the Dagger should be like this.
And he kind of just keeps saying out loud that his only guiding principle is that it be sort of cool and Sithy and like,
right.
Yeah.
So when it ends up not making a lot of sense.
But this is a movie that is, I mean, there was a lot going on. There was kind of a speed to it. And this is just a director going with his gut. And with that in mind, that's what makes it truly interesting to watch. Is like, this is J.J. Abrams constantly going with his gut for like how to make a scene interesting, how to construct a movie in the most compelling way, trying to bring all of the fractured pieces of this trilogy together. And he's just going with his gut, and this is the result. Yeah.
That's taking it back to, we've brought it up a couple of times, Return of the Jedi. Like you said, that walking through, George Lucas walking through the, creature shop and being like, oh, cool. All right. That guy's the leader of the rebellion. And everybody's like, what? Just like he just totally pulled Admiral Akbar off a shelf and was just like, yeah, that's going to be the leader. He's like and everybody's like, and they have to like write stuff down and figure out how to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Same idea. There we go. They're like, I don't know.
Totally
A Sith
within the core of
Dagger?
Star Wars.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
100%.
Sure.
I want to call attention to something in the Star Wars Visual Dictionary.
Sure.
And so their description of Ochi of Bestoon is that he is like a character who's obsessed with Sith arcana, and he pored over sacred texts trying to to learn all they had to teach and stuff like that. And none of this seemed consistent with the Ochi we see in the comics. And so, I mean, I'm assuming this is just Pablo Hidalgo kind of extrapolating. Well, obviously he had a Sith knife, he had a Sith car, so let's just say he's really into the Sith. Because what else do we know about
Sith stuff?
Imagine Ochi at a Star Wars vintage store, like rifling through records trying to find a nice forgotten Sith album. Like this sort of like he's on Antiques Roadshow in Star Wars trying to
right. And then every year for Life Day or whatever, like his aunt gets him the shirt that just it just says Sith on it, and it's got like a crazy drawing, and it's like, oh, you like Sith, right? And he's like, yeah, thanks.
We'll have like a cool red skull or something on it, to give it that edge, that edginess. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to call attention to that little the weirdness of that. It's kind of, I guess, the drawback to saying, okay, well, these books have to be like a comprehensive, like, educational thing, because obviously a lot of details are just totally made up on the spot. So
right.
Yeah, and then somebody will fold it in at some point. Just everything just keeps folding.
Yeah.
Folding in.
Just folding. So there's writing on this knife, of course. And C-3PO reveals that it is Sith writing. And but he is not allowed. His programming forbids him to translate Sith language.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes me really want watching this again for this podcast was like, you know what? I want a specific live action droid prequel in the same era as like the start of the Jedi. I just wanted to be about the droids. What's going on? I want to see this moment where this rule was made where droids cannot translate Sith words.
Imagine Sith words. Sundays on ABC.
I'll tell you, according to Star Wars timelines, which I recently purchased, that rule was put into effect 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. As soon as once the Sith were defeated, they're like, we can't have this happening again. Let's just make it. No one can learn this language. We want it to die out, so their whole memory will be erased from history. And so it managed to stick around in place. There was a theory I saw on the internet, which was that Palpatine, once he took over the Empire, Palpatine put that rule into effect because he didn't want droids to be able to learn Sith, because he knew at some point he was going to have to leave clues to the Wayfinder. So he only wanted Sith to be able to read it. He didn't want any droid, reading it and being like, oh yeah, they're on Exegol. And so that's why was like,
can't have everybody learning our secret language.
He's thinking long term, that guy.
Jim,
bending over backwards.
Can you remind me of what exactly is happening with the Wayfinder? Like what it is, why?
Yeah,
I'm talking about the Dagger, not the Wayfinder. The Dagger.
Yeah,
from Shadow of the Sith.
Yes,
that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ochi in Shadow of the Sith is obsessed with getting back to Exegol. Because as you remember from the comic, Alex, at Exegol is where I think he's blinded, right? And everything's like burned off his face. And he's convinced that is the source of ultimate power. And if he can get back there, he'll get his eyesight back. That's like everything that drives him is just that he wants his eyesight back. And so that, presumably, to your dictionary, is why he's obsessed with collecting Sith cars.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's just, again, so funny that the Sith have an automobile preference. There's only ever two of them, but they need their own nice ride. And he contacts in the book the wraiths of Exegol, the chanting. He finds a way to contact them. They're like, stop calling us. But they do give him this dagger. And they're like, this dagger will lead you to a Wayfinder that will lead you to Exegol or something like that, but you've got to go kill Rey first. They want Palpatine wants his kid back. Yeah. Presumably he's going to body snatch him and whatever.
His clone kid, by the way.
That's sort of the setup.
So his clone, not his kid, his clone.
Well,
Rey's dad.
But
it's,
what's with the Star Wars universe where the clones look nothing like the person they've been cloned of, and I don't know how Snoke is a Palpatine clone. I love it, but I don't understand what the difference is anymore. To be
it's not exact science.
Yeah.
So that's the MacGuffin that they set up in this, and the dagger is a gift that he is sort of given in order to hunt these people down, and it's supposed to help him find his way to Exegol. And the Wayfinder is more of a funny. I'm going to get this wrong, I'm sure, but we don't listen to people who tell us we were wrong, right? So who cares?
Right.
It's like a thing that you could put in the ship that literally, like a weird-shaped USB stick. When you plug it in, it will take you to the planet, I think, right? Isn't that basically
Didn't we see that happening at
is?
some point?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Yeah, Kylo Ren just plugs it into his dashboard.
Yeah.
Which made me like it more because it's less mystical and more just it's like a homing beacon. It's just like
it's a map.
It's like a map thing, and it's just they made it all like Sithy and weird looking, but it's basically it's sound technology that we've seen before. Not the technology of sound, but it's technology that we've grown to accept. There's there's a homing beacon, but they made it look all crazy because they're Sith.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to. I mean, if it's a fairly simple design, it's all about the packaging. It's those iMacs and stuff when they came out. Everyone's like, "Oh, that looks so cool." So yeah. Anyway,
The fact that the dagger is like an evil Sith object is totally cool by me. It's the idea that it will lead to it's like a minted dagger. Like, how the hell does the dagger know where the Wayfinder is going to be at the point? That's the part where.
And the thing about this minute, it's just like another immediate curveball. It's like, oh, we found Ochi. We got the dagger. It has words on it. C-3PO can read it, but he can't tell you what it is.
Right.
That leads you to your next part of the adventure. How do we get to learn what this dagger says?
Here's a question. Could they have said to C-3PO, who we saw fly a spaceship in Revenge of the Sith, could they say to 3PO, take us to Exegol? You know where it is. You don't have to tell us where it is. You never have to translate anything. Just get in the ship and we'll all go to Exegol. Would that have worked?
I love that.
Does the novelization have Rey going, oh, I wish I thought of that one?
We saw him fly a spaceship?
In Revenge of the Sith, after they leave that planet, Mustafar, Obi-Wan's all upset and he's all like, and C-3PO's driving the ship.
That is
like,
wow.
Right.
You have a good
I
memory
also love the idea that he's totally capable, but like C-3PO doesn't offer to do things. You've got to ask him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's a settings issue. You can, depending on how many prompts you want the droid to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So originally he was asking two.
There was a lot of
and you go ahead.
He was
a lot of
helpful.
angst online right after this about like, wait, so Anakin as a small boy like programmed C-3PO to follow like the rules of the Galactic Republic but as I've thought about this since, it actually makes perfect sense, right? He's not like a programmer. Like he's just probably going on whatever open source protocol droid thing and like downloading it right into his
Well, it's like like a kid who builds a gaming PC. They're not writing Windows.
Yeah.
They're
exactly. Right.
Building a computer and then and they're ordering parts from all over and they're assembling it and then putting an operating system on it.
Now here's my biggest question is like, I guess this this element of droid mechanics has been going on for so long, for over 1,000 years at this point, that it's gotten out of common knowledge to everyone else that this is the thing, right? I guess it makes sense. No one runs across Sith text that often, but
right.
So it's just like a forgotten piece of code to everyone.
What I like about that is that it if you recall, one of the Palpatine seems to have put in a whole program trying to eliminate any reference to the Jedi. You know what I mean? But it's Admiral Mahdi's like, they're just sorcerers. So they're basically just doing the same thing. Palpatine's basically like, I don't want anyone to be a Jedi again. No droids can speak Jedi language from now on. And he's basically they're both trying to erase the other one from history.
Yeah,
so,
it
helps when there's only two of them, though. It probably makes it a bit easier when there's only two guys to be like,
But we got some glimpses of the actual sacred text, and I love that it basically is the visual dictionary. Like there's a picture of a wayfinder that you see briefly as Rey is flipping through it. So I was wondering, like, okay, the Sith have their own text. Is there like a special font that the Jedi use? But all I've seen have really just been drawings. Yeah.
I'm still. I feel like Aurebesh is only just getting established, where it's too early to go into other now Star Wars letters. Although I'm sure there are. We've seen other
there was
other fonts
Futhark
and things
and all that. The Naboobian alphabet.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just that the Disney Plus can't translate the Sith either. So like whatever you're watching it on, the Blu-ray player can't translate Sith either. So you can't. There is writing there. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
It's not allowed to translate it. That's
digitized out. It's like blurred, so people can't read it.
Yeah, exactly. Like pornography.
And then a big snake shows up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then a big snake shows up.
First, Poe is beside himself that C-3PO speaks 20.3 fazillion languages.
That's right, yeah.
And
which I had to rewind multiple times to be sure that Poe said fazillion.
Fazillion.
Is it like
it's in the
fugly?
novelization?
Is it like?
I guess so. Oh, it could be. It's like a portmanteau.
Yeah.
20.1 Fazillion languages you speak, and you can't read this thing?
Flarping languages. Yeah.
Do you think that is it? Because if you recall, in A New Hope, he was fluent with 3 million forms of communication.
6
million forms. Do you think now this shows that he is now upgraded? He's been studying, and now he can speak 21.2 Fazillion languages.
Please, 20.3. Let's not go overboard.
He's at least added Ewok to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. And Pete has confirmed that Fazillion is in the novelization as well, so it's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an improvisation.
No.
He says the most interesting things, though, Poe, because he said the phrase "big ass door" in The Last Jedi,
right.
and that always stands out to me. Like no one has said
that's
the
right
word.
up there
And
with
hugs.
Sia in Hell.
Yeah,
And Admiral Hugs.
yeah.
Right.
This is here's what's going to happen with this. Here's like I'm seeing the future, just like a Jedi. This is in the script. Obviously, this is just meant for Poe being a wise ass, whatever. Fazillion is
Right.
Somebody is going to write a story that explains that Fazillion is an actual number, and there's going to be a thing where you're going to have to look up on Wikipedia. It's going to be like Fazillion was a number used in the Outer Rim when trying to.
Yeah.
Eventually,
there'll
be like hundreds of Star Wars numbers. It's like,
right, yeah.
these mathematically theoretical numbers. It's like Star Wars numbers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's like what they eventually did with the Kessel Run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kessel
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, you see, it is about speed is about your navigation computer and how.
Everything that's said on screen in a movie has to be taken as absolute gospel and must be explained. And nobody can lie, nobody can exaggerate, nobody can be sarcastic.
Nobody
whatever
can
they
just be
say,
wrong about something.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking about.
I can be
no, like you're talking about Lando in the novelization, Lando and the Millennium Falcon and the Knights of Ren. And the thing about Lando that stands out to me is that he's wearing the same outfit that he wore in Solo, that sort of yellow shirt. Yeah. And definitely a missed opportunity in this movie to just have like a 1 second of him sort of making out with the ship.
They cut just like a really, like in Return of the Jedi, where just you see the outside of Jabba's palace and there's just like a little frog that eats the thing. Yeah. Same idea. It's just you get like a big like establishing shot of Pasana. It's all calm, and you just see like Lando completely nude on top of the Millennium Falcon,
just dry humping it.
Yeah,
making sweet love.
Right, just off a little bit in the corner. If you look, you can see it, but it's not.
Like the Millennium Falcon in Revenge of the Sith, where you see it kind of tiny on the screen. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Little Easter egg.
So good.
And that's why he has a change of heart.
Yeah. And then maybe their daughter could their offspring could show up at the Jedi school and raise school, that like this cyborg offspring of the Millennium Falcon and Lando.
Oh. And then she would kind of be a rival of Lando's other daughter that we don't know about, but we do. All right.
Fan fiction has
it's
gone wild
complete.
here. It's complete.
Yeah.
Fully operational.
You're going to cut all that out, right?
All I was going to say about all of this like insane tangential stuff about Ochi and the dagger and the like all that stuff that they pack in Shadow of the Sith. This is what you're saying, Pete, made me think of. Like, none of that's in this. Like all of this is an insane minute where when you're watching it. When did this movie come out now? Like
2020.
Yeah,
19.
Yeah,
19,
right before,
19.
right
December
before
19,
everything.
right?
Right?
December
So
19.
I was like, in my mind, I was like, 7 years ago, 25 years ago. I don't
Time
know.
has no meaning anymore.
In the moment you're sitting there, you have none of this information. You're just like, what? Like, did I go to the bathroom or go refill my soda at the wrong time? What is happening? And now it's this rich tapestry of lore. I don't know. That's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Then a big snake shows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All my notes for tomorrow are about the snake, so
Yeah.
All right. Table the snake for tomorrow.
unless you have anything specific about it popping up behind C-3PO, that kind of.
Oh no! I just love that you said,
joke.
and then a big snake showed up, and I hope that in the actual screenplay, that is how this moment is written.
Yeah.
I want to think that
Snake
J.J.
shows
Abrams
up.
just went to a table and was like, something has to show up to threaten them. No, not
Yeah,
a
it's gotta
bird.
be cool.
Not a stapler, no.
It's not a bird. It's not a bird. That's not it.
Penguin?
Oh, man.
I did want to. We did mention C-3PO's sassiness, and I do love the line here where they're like, oh, great, like the one time that we want you to talk, you can't, and he was like, irony, sir. Like that, that deadpan delivery of that is a good.
It's
Very good.
Yeah. So, hats off. This is C-3PO's finest movie, I think, and this is another further example of that. But let's save the snake talk for tomorrow. We've got more of it. Can you guys come back to do one more episode with us tomorrow?
Yes.
Close it out Friday to be casual Friday.
Oh, love it.
We can let loose. Let loose and talk about snakes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you there at home listening, watching, you want to, I'm trying to, how do I tie this in? We don't have daggers. We don't, let's see, how could we, well, hey, see that?
Over to.
Yeah, see that? Slither on over to our merch store. See that thing behind Alex? If you're watching this on video, that's a design that he made, and it's available as a tapestry from our merch store.
Not the cat.
Star Wars Minute. Not the cat. Don't try to order the cat.
Yes.
StarWarsMinute.com/merch. You can get T-shirts. You can get bath mats. You can get skateboards. You can get all kinds of crazy stuff. And all of it has cool, fun designs from us. A lot of it Alex drew. Some weird, obscure references that we've made over the years. It's all there. So go check it out. StarWarsMinute.com/merch. And come back. We'll see you here tomorrow for a brand new
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.